here we are, from incarceration to education. I am one of those. From incarceration to education. Being released in 1991, went back to school, earned my bachelor's degree, then I earned my master's degree. And so it works. It works to open doors for you that you think may have been closed. But again, the education process is very dedicated. You have to be determined. It's like going and having a job. But if you are serious about going back to school, we can help you. We can help you. And a lot of times when we say school, it may not be going to get your bachelor's, or it may not be going to get your master's like, some of the guys and Skylar has done. But no, Skylar, you've never been incarcerated, right? Okay, so Clarence is the only one here who's been incarcerated. So again, like if you wanted to do construction, there's classes that you need to be able to take and learn how to study. And so those things are important. And with discovering your true self, we say we never give up. We step into our greatness. That is what is most important. That long as you have a breath in your body, you have hope. I have hope for you.
Okay. So I'm coming before you to make a request. And that is that you put your heart into a situation that will allow you to have a change of life. I'm not talking about the charges or the things that you're up against or the heartaches that you've been through, the difficult decisions that you have made that may have gone south. I'm talking about the fact that right here, right now, everybody within the sound of my voice has the mental capacity and the spiritual ability to make a change. So, what I would like for you to do is to consider the programs that we try hard to offer you here. And if there are any programs like Living in Balance or 5 Keys or any of the other things that, of course, I can't think of right now, I wish you would participate in them. I'm not asking for me because I get paid whether you participate or not. So I'm not trying to get a raise out of this. I'm trying to help Phelicia and help the staff here that believe in you and believe that if you have an opportunity, you'll do better. Because when you know better, you can do better, right? So, okay, that's my pitch. So I want you all to think about what I just said to you and realize that I said it because I believe that you can change.
So our next speaker would be Dr. Frank Williams, who knows all about from incarceration to education. And I met him at Cemetery College, to tell you the truth, many, many years ago. When I was first released and I decided that I was going to go back to school. No, that was after I got my BA, and then I wanted to do alcohol and drug certification. So I went back to College of San Mateo to enroll in the alcohol and drug certification program after I received my bachelor's degree. And I met, at that time, Frank Williams. And now from incarceration to education, he is now Dr. Frank Williams. Clap it up. And he's also PYTS.
What's up, man? Hello, man. Hello. What's up, brothers? Hello. I also want to give a shout out to all the officers around the room. I know what you guys sitting here looking through a different lens, like that's the police, they're human beings. They care about you making it too, rather believe it or not. I sat in this orange. I sat here wearing orange. I wore blue. Been in federal pens, been in state pens. I was one of them, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was one of them who believed in the old dogma of the games be sold, not told. I didn't know that I was some Willie Lynch stuff that the game, what knowledge wasn't supposed to be given to me unless it was sold to me. That's why today I give it away for free. I don't sell it. I give the game away because I want you to make it. There's people here that want you to make it. You gotta start making you some money, some income, and be somebody. take care of you and your family. It didn't end here. Whatever your sentence is gonna be, whatever they give you take it like a man and move forward. And while you're in there, you study. Little things like safety, little things like OSHA. You learn while you're in there. You don't let the time do you do that time, man. Take advantage of that time. My last case was facing 25 to life. And while I was in there facing 25 to life, I told my family, don't come see me. I'm not ready to do no hard time. 25 to life for some cocaine. Like, take for granted, man, you're in the projects, and the projects is federal. Just think it's cool, because, you know, this is my block. I do what I want on my block, but you don't even own real estate on that block. So what you claiming? But you could claim your life. And there's people here who came here to show you a documentary from incarceration to education, and plus you in one of the, I hate to say it like this, but it's the truth. You're in one of the greatest facilities there is in the United States. In San Francisco, who else get this? Like y'all sitting eating chips and candies and stuff. Like, we didn't get that, right? If you was in Alameda County, you wouldn't get it. If you was in San Mateo County, you ain't gonna get it. If you was in Alabama, you ain't gonna get it. So while you here, get this education. You got people here that really care about you making it. I mean, believe it or not, you got the assistant sheriff up in here with you. Where you see that at? You got the director of programs up in here with you. Man, you got 8420s in here trying to make it happen for you. Now, you got to make it happen. I believe you're going to make it happen. That's why I came when I was invited, because I just want to get a little bit of me to you to say, I believe in you. I don't care what you did. That's not important to me. What's important that you forgive yourself and move forward. And don't let nothing hold you back. Thank you, brothers.
So for the men and women that work at this jail and at all the jails that do this, thank you. It's your service. That is very important. And let's not forget that, because think about this. At County Jail 5, we have a high school inside of the jail. Fred talked a little bit about how San Francisco is different. Think about that. We have a high school inside of a county jail in order to help the men and women who are in our jail so they can find different ways to think and have different opportunities. So please take those opportunities. And thank you to the staff. Thank you.
So what you're about to watch is a short version of the film, which is about 25 minutes long. And it's meant for educational screenings. So we've been screening at universities, other college campuses, other institutions, prisons and jails, just to inform and educate and inspire that you're passionate to find your future and higher education is a productive way to progress in society.
And I'll add that as y'all watching this documentary, try to come up with some questions, because like bro said, I want to be here to answer any questions that I could, because this journey wasn't easy. And like he said, I believe I did 3 years in prison, and we didn't have no type of programming with nobody telling me you can go to college, so I had to kind of figure that out once I got released. Right? And right now I work for an organization at UC Berkeley called Undergraduate Scholars Initiative. And what we do is we identify people who have been locked up or system impacted, meaning they know somebody who's been in jail. And we try to get them into UC Berkeley, or we try to get them into a UC in general, because we believe at the end of the day, the best way to fight crime and the best way to scale back on mass incarceration is through education. Right? So yeah, we hope y'all enjoy the documentary. Ask me anything, I don't mind. Ask Skylar, if you got questions for her or Christian about in terms of producing the film.
If you're able to overcome prison, jail, streets, or whatever, that experience in itself is so rich, and we taught it doesn't mean anything, but it's so valuable. If anybody could grow up in the streets, maneuver, understand this game, or know how to make some money, or understand this, that's a system in itself, right? Academia is a system in itself too. So I feel like we could learn this thing, we could also learn this.
I always wanted to come to Berkeley. This is one of the most prestigious universities in the world. I came here, did my undergraduate here, got my master's here. Now I'm starting the PhD program. I don't think I really understood what it means to be at a research institution. I thought you came to class, you get a good grade, you get a degree from this place, and it's like, you hold it up and it's like, it's gonna do away with all my past and all. That's kind of how I thought of it. I've come to understand that this place is a place where you can actually find your passion. What am I into? I'm into boxing. So I'm gonna get a master's and write a paper on boxing. I'm into understanding what created mass incarceration. So guess what? That's what I'm studying for my PhD. You can do that here. And if you take it high enough, if you take it all the way, you finish your doctorate, you publish stuff, you can actually start to change the conversation.
Graduate student instructor holds sections, so they don't lecture in the main lecture class. You meet separately from the lecture on a separate day or a separate time.
Okay. Any more questions about the third module before we kind of get in groups? Nancy, then, okay, yeah, one more.
My experience with the carceral state changes my relationship to the material and makes it so that it informs the way I teach and the way I engage with the material.
But let's do a little check-in first. Terminology. I love to police terminology, pardon the pun, but ex-offender, ex-felon. I would ask that people start using formerly incarcerated person. Humanizes the subject rather than placing a label on them. I know this is in the reading.
I'm a female, I'm Black. I lived in the ghettos, and I'm in academia. So I bring all those different aspects to academia. I add that intersectionality to the campus, you know, because somebody from a privileged background can't tell a story like how I can, because I lived it firsthand. Well, this class is it was my honors thesis class. Honors thesis is research. Like, basically, it's something that you want to research and you write about.
You're working on whatever topic, and there needs to be a good sociological project research.
I think it's important for me to do something that's close to home. I'm working on domestic violence and the Black woman's paradox, and why women choose not to call the police. Growing up in East Oakland, it was a little rough depending on where you lived. You didn't want to walk through certain neighborhoods. This is my old apartment building. You know, I had my dreams when I was a kid, but I pretty much gave those up when I got to a certain age. It was like, you know, I pretty much like it's all about, see, my mom taught me that. My mom says it's all about hustling. She was like, fuck school, it's about hustling. You gotta get it how you get it. My dad used to always tell me I'm not the prettiest girl, so don't think I am, you know. My low self-esteem came from my household and from my parents always telling me I ain't shit. That became internalized. And that's why I always wanted people to accept me at school. And that's why it hurt when people, I used to get teased all the time. I was always the butt of the joke, and I was always teased, and I was always talked about, you know. And then on top of that, I was poor, and my parents were on drugs, so I didn't have the best. So I got teased about that too. This is where I got arrested, right there. Next thing I heard freeze, and the police hopped the fence, and I tried to throw the weed. I threw the weed under the car, and I went to jail. I thought it was cool, actually. You know, everybody like, you know, you seem tough if you go to jail, you know. So I thought it was kind of cool, like, to go to jail. I was scared because I didn't know what to expect, but at the same time, I'm smiling like, I'll be back, which was crazy.
Right now, we are headed to my class on the economics of race. There's like a lot of sort of debate around, why blacks or African Americans haven't been, in a position for upward mobility compared to, other ethnicities and race. So what this class is gonna do is like break it down in terms of like economics.
The police departments that are patrolling African American kids disproportionately, given that there are differences in people where they live, are treating crimes in this range, right, of severity where there's discretion differently than the police departments that are patrolling predominantly white cities, right? And so it's not necessarily.
I'm from South Berkeley. I would say I had a pretty good childhood, or at least I would like to think that, but there was a lot of things that I wasn't aware of when I was a kid that, weren't considered okay. We are on Harmon Street, the 1500 block. This is where I spent a lot of my time, my childhood. Basketball is like what kept me away from the streets a lot, because I was like, okay, if I'm gonna go to the NBA, I can't be smoking, I can't be out here getting in trouble. Once that dream sort of went out the window, I just started selling drugs. This whole street right here is known for some of the drug trafficking that happens in Berkeley. I've seen some, there have been some bad things that happen right here. People have been shot over here by this store, even killed. Knowing how cold and mean these streets can be and the decisions you can make and how you end up. A lot of my friends are in prison, jail. A lot of them are, at the cemetery. I'm hurt right now because this is the very same bus stop where me and my sister used to come here every morning. Me and Sierra, we used to come here and catch the bus to school. And she's not here no more, The community, the gun violence, is real, and I need to use my voice, experience, and position to do something about it, I gotta be accountable to this neighborhood, not just this neighborhood, but all the neighborhoods that are similar,
Paper no more. Who didn't get their paper or still hasn't gotten paper number 1? What I do with the Undergraduate Scholars, I help formerly incarcerated transfer students and those impacted by mass incarceration try to transfer to UC Berkeley. Okay, last questions or otherwise? All right, we'll see y'all next week. We encourage them to come take a class here at UC Berkeley while they're still at community college, which is what our cross-enrollment program is built on. I think it's great to have the opportunity to have our students in the cross-enrollment class that I'm the graduate student instructor for. I'm not an easy grader. I go tough on them. They'll tell you I'm tough. Where's my green pen? Because actually I can grade it right now. I'm going to go hard on you guys because this is, I want you guys to really progress to the next level. I want you to be like a UC writer by the time you get here. And you're well on your way. We set aside a separate hour just for our students to really make sure that they're getting the concepts. Nice, very good. This is great. You need people that understand where you're coming from, that walk like you, talk like you, to help you make it through this process. I feel like that's a big part of it. This can be a scary place. Higher education can be a scary place. And so we need to support each other, and it's important to have those kind of support networks. He was far from an average student. However, here's a good however right here. What are you trying to say in this paragraph?
I go down to the conversation he had with his teacher.
Okay. So even though he was a great student, what?
So it's basically he still got treated. I mean,
Why?
It didn't mean because of the color of his skin.
Okay, say that.
Okay.
That's a great topic sentence. See what I'm saying? That's all you need to do. Your writing has evolved in ways that I'm very happy with over this semester.
Yay.
Don't you feel like?
Yeah.
I think our most successful thing is we hire a current formerly incarcerated community college student to do outreach at their campus. And then the idea is they are also getting ready to transfer here themselves.
I started getting involved in gangs in 8th grade. It was very violent. I mean, I had to carry a gun to school a couple of times. By then, they did like home invasions on my friend's house. A couple of us got stabbed. 2 of my friends had died by then. Just to go to school was like life or death, so I decided to not go the last couple of months, so I actually didn't graduate from high school. If I never got incarcerated, I wouldn't have been in this path. It made me really change my perspective, I think, the most. My plan right now is to transfer out to a 4-year university. My top choice is at Berkeley because I already have developed relationships with an org there called the Undergraduate Scholars Initiative.
What I think would be a useful thing to do now is to shift over to Jim Crow for a little bit.
I reached out to him. I was like, hey, how's this application process? How does it work? They actually got me a sit-down meeting with a admissions counselor where they overread my personal statement and they gave me feedback on it. So it actually made me a stronger candidate.
What's this book about?
Mass incarceration.
Mass incarceration. Mass incarceration, she's saying you don't know. It's not about justice or fairness or making sure people are safe or taking bad drug dealers off the streets. It's not really about those things, she's saying. Her argument is it's really about taking away people's civil rights.
I want to work with people that have been previously incarcerated. The way my education will help me with that is even though I come from this background, have lived experience, and I have all this knowledge about it, I came to understanding that without a degree, a diploma, or higher education, no one is willing to hear me out.
The last time I was in jail, I had decided like I had had enough, I had my last drink. I started to see myself in a different light. I did my time differently. Someone was like, you seem like someone that has a lot of potential as a student, and it fundamentally changed the way that I came home.
I didn't know that all these barriers I would soon come to face once I was released. It was hard. I didn't, know what it was I wanted to do. I just know that they couldn't take me back to prison if I went to school. I couldn't be violated. Also, I knew that, something good had to come out of going to school. I didn't know, what the possibilities were.
Giving birth in jail made me never ever want to go back to jail. But having a felony on my record, it's not that easy just changing over your life. Going back to school was the best decision I made post-incarceration. Getting my life together and getting educated. Like, without education, you just don't know what you don't, you just don't know what you're missing.
I remember I got the email and I didn't open it the first day. I opened it the second day because I was just curious because people were like, hey, did you get it or not? And I was like, nah, I'm gonna wait to open it. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm just gonna open it. I just couldn't wait. When I seen congratulations, I didn't even read the rest. It just said congratulations. The first word, I was like, I got in, it was overwhelming, happiness and excitement. I made it, I made it to where I wanted to be, where I didn't ever think was possible for me to be. The biggest change from community college to Berkeley has been the whole academic setting is more rigorous. There's more reading.
critical ethnic studies scholars want to shift the perspective of who counts as a knower from this kind of all-knowing bird's-eye view perspective to the position from which those who have historically been marginalized and excluded see and understand the world and how it operates. And in other words, the oppressed become the knowers.
USI as a group that helps me like educationally. They tell me to study when they see me slacking. It's not just in the school, but outside of school, like they're my homies. Like I've made personal relationships with a lot of them, you know. It's like even when we're out of school, we're still gonna be connected. We're still gonna talk to each other and we're gonna keep working with each other.
Have you signed in first?
It's our second annual Transfer Empowerment Day. We have about 100 community college students from all over the state, potential transfers to the UC system. All of the resources that we help students with, we're going to try to model today.
If you want to apply to postgrad, like BA, if you want a fellowship, scholarships, like we support you through all that. We just help you thrive and succeed while you're here at Cal, not just to get your BA, but get you ready to think like, okay, you're here, now what's next? And actually, on that note, we have a first student who got into UC Berkeley this fall who's still currently incarcerated. Yeah, so.
I was selling drugs, I was gangbanging because that's what I had to do to survive where I'm from. That's why I'm back in school, to get rid of these barriers that shouldn't exist for our populations, because like the privileged kids and the ones that have everything handed to them, like when they're growing up, they're thinking what university I want to go to, you know what I'm saying? Shit, I was thinking like I'm not gonna make it to 18, like, so we got different.
Our ones, we're gonna start heading out. I'm leading the tour along with Shalita. We're gonna take you to the important places on campus. You know, that's a regular tour.
We put this on every year so we can gather formerly incarcerated students, so we can give inspiration and hope that, look, hey, we're formerly incarcerated, system impacted students, and we're here at UC Berkeley getting a higher education, and we're being successful.
So we're gonna go down, we're gonna see our office, and then we're gonna come back up.
A lot of people are under the assumption like, hey, I can't go to that prestigious college because I can't afford to go. Berkeley is very affordable. If you make under $80,000 a year, it pays for your tuition. Because if Berkeley accepts you, they want you.
I'm for seeing our people as academics, for seeing our people as able to access and take opportunities through higher education. Enroll in community college, get your feet wet, try to do well. It's difficult, but it's not impossible.
Serving time requires tremendous discipline and humility, but those skills are transferable. They would definitely serve a person well in academia.
We're not just criminals. We might have made some bad mistakes in the past, but it doesn't define who we are.
It's hard to envision a future when you're locked up and you don't know what tomorrow holds. Thinking about, hey, maybe once you're released, you could be in Berkeley. It might be far-fetched, but it really isn't.
I'm not just here for me, you know, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than my family. You know, it's about my community. It's about the people I left back behind in prison. When you give people like us an opportunity, we can become better, more effective leaders.
Are there going to be uncomfortable situations? Are people going to discriminate against us? Yes, absolutely. The more we fight against that and the more we say, hey, look at me, I'm formerly incarcerated, I'm a doctoral student. You want to discriminate against me because the kind of person you think I am because of a moral judgment that you have about formerly incarcerated people, then it's my duty to change your mind.
How we operate is you have to like satisfy all like the community college requirements or credits or whatnot. And I'm pretty sure there are people here who can either enroll in community college or assist you along the way. But essentially, all you gotta do is just be formally incarcerated, have the right GPA, and yeah, we'll try to get you in Berkeley. But I know it's easier. Like that sounds easy, but it's a lot more work to actually go behind it, though. But ultimately, like you just have to be enrolled at a community. Well, not even a community college, because we even have some people that are in prison right now who are like right in our program. Like we have people who like do letter correspondence with them. So they're like taking what's the name of that? Coastlines. Like they're taking classes from there, and they like building up their credits. And we actually had one guy. I want to say it was like a year and a half ago. He's still in prison right now, and he actually got accepted into UC Berkeley because he fulfilled all this like general ed while he was in prison. But he just hasn't paroled yet. So once he paroled, like he can come onto the school.
I was just wondering how many times you guys have had a chance to do this in these facilities like this, and if you guys are like progressing as far as how many facilities you're going into.
Yeah. So we like just a month ago we were in San Quentin. We were next door. We have been to a few other jails, to their county jails throughout San Francisco, and we've also been to LA. We actually went to New York recently to do a screening at the Barry Institute. Just really expanding from now because it's like we have the Bay Area and we just want to screen basically all around the US. So it's kind of an expansion. We finished this film in October, and so we've just kind of been like doing screenings here and there. And then we're also, one thing that I also wanted to mention was that we're creating a long version of the film right now because he's graduating, 3 or 4 people are graduating. So we're going to be filming through the fall, kind of like, them going to grad school, parents, post-grad, everything. And then that film is meant for the general public, so film festivals, public distribution, because these stories aren't told in mainstream media. And it's really important for people to know about them because it's inspiring and it's amazing. So.
I want to know, did you always feel like you wanted to get back into education before you went to jail, or was it something that happened while you were incarcerated that made you decide that, you wanted to get out and try something new and get an education?
That's a good question, bro. So in high school, I was, like I said, like the only thing that kept me involved with school was sports, which I had to have to like pay for like the school team, like you gotta have like a certain GPA or whatnot. But as far as like seeing myself going off to college, like I didn't think that much of myself. So when I was incarcerated, when I was in prison, I wouldn't say like I was super set on going to school. I just knew like, more importantly, like I wanted to get a job. I wanted to have an income and something going for myself so that I wouldn't have to go back to doing what got me in there in the first place. So, but then again, it's also like how like the parole system was set up. It was like you either got to get a job or go to school where you get violated, right? But it's not that easy to get a job because you have to face these collateral consequences, meaning like if you got a felony, ain't nobody just gonna hire you, you know what I mean? So in that sense, thinking about that, like I couldn't get a job when I came out. Like it was like I got denied from every place, and then you had to do everything online. So I really never got to meet nobody face to face and kind of like make my case. So so I went to I was like, all right, forget it. Then I'll go to community college, and I'll take some classes there. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just was like, all right, business sounds cool. Like be my own businessman, and it kind of got like that kind of gleam to it. And I didn't really like that. Then at the community college, it was also cool because I had just been like 3 years, so it was like a lot of beautiful women around. So that was like something that also incentivized me to come to school, and then just talking to people in general. You know what I mean? And it was actually when I got this job that made me take school even more serious. So it was a job in Richmond, like as a community organizer. A community organizer is basically somebody who like tries to mobilize the community in a way that advocates for like certain bills or laws or like just justice in general. It was through that job where I figured like, hey, business is not for me. Maybe I might want to study sociology or public policy. So it was actually through that job. And that job, they were like seeking people who had been formerly incarcerated. So the criteria for this job is that you had to have a felony, right? So like you don't get job opportunities like that every day. So when I seen it, I kind of jumped on it, you know what I mean? And then that job is pretty much what I would say politicized me and made me, like, it enhanced my self-esteem because they like showed me like, hey, like, you know, you've been locked up, but hey, you can actually use your story to change lives and actually make a difference. It's all in how you tell it, you know. And I would say from that position, that was what made me take school a lot more serious. And then I met like people through like different networks, people who were like were in these leadership positions, and then just like these phenomenal people who had been locked up, like people like Phelicia, like she was like, I hadn't seen nobody who'd been locked up and like able to get up there and do like this public speak that like really moved you on the inside and empower you. So I would say like it was kind of through that like how I got involved with school, and then once I like started getting A's and stuff, it like that was it. That was all I needed, bro. And, you know, I didn't have that. I still had the self-esteem issue, but then like from there it was like, you know, it was straight on up.
Tony, I want to know, so once you start going to school and stuff. Speak up, sir. Okay. Once you start going to school and stuff, like I don't know if you was in the streets before you went to jail or you just committed a crime, but like how did like people that were around you when you was in the streets, how did they take to you? Like as far as like you had issues with other individuals, like they see since you was going to school now, like oh he's doing the school thing, fall back on him, or what was that like for you?
It was, you know, when you grow up, when you come up with a clique of people, you got different individuals involved. You got people who gonna think differently. But I would say for the majority, I would say my friends, like they wasn't really supportive. Like they wasn't like, oh, you doing the school thing. I mean, I had a couple of friends who was like, hey, bro, like I respect it kind of thing. But for the most part, it wasn't really supportive. But then it's like, I don't know, it's kind of cause I was kind of like one of the first people out of my little clique to go to prison actually, you know. So I feel like them not having that experience, they couldn't really like kind of see what I was actually trying to do in my life. So at the end of the day, I had to kind of be like, forget what they think, it's all about what I think. And then it's about making my mama happy, because I just had to do these 3 years, and I just had to have her like send me money and put money on the phone, and I'm causing her all this pain and, you know, trauma. So it was more so like I had to be like, forget what they think, and you know what I mean? And do what I wanted to do. Because at first, like, people didn't really believe it. Like, they didn't believe me when I was going to school. Like, they was like, oh, man, like, I'm joking around. But then they seen, like, as time went by, like, how serious I was. And now I am where I am now, just because I made that sort of decision to do that, you know?
My name is Mr. Hightower. Is your name Clarence? I really want to thank you for coming out and sharing your story with us. It's a lot more motivation for me to hear somebody like you speak out. You know, we appreciate you a lot. I also want to say, Phelicia, I love you for everything that you do for us. And today's a really special day for me. I've been feeling like that ever since I signed that paper. You know, I came a long ways. I've been coming to San Francisco County Jail since I was 18, 39 now, and I didn't know what I was going to do. They started 5 Keys charter school when I was in San Bruno. I started going to all my classes, and you know, I'm a high school dropout. I ended up getting my high school diploma in San Bruno. I got my high school diploma. When I walked across that stage, I was able to hold my daughter, which I hadn't seen in a long time. And by the time they took me on that bus back to San Bruno County Jail, everybody was going, Mr. Hightower, look, you're on the news. And I was on the news holding my daughter, walking, get my certificate. And I didn't know what I was going to do with it when I got released. I didn't think I was smart enough to go into a college. I just got out of jail. My grandmother, who stays out in Berkeley, she said, you know what, your dad works up there at Merritt College, why don't you go up there? I'm like, my dad don't want me up there. I just got out of jail. She said, look, go up there. So I said, why not try it? I tried a whole bunch of other stuff and I ended up in jail. Let me go ahead and try this college thing. And so I got introduced to a counselor, and she introduced me to a lot of teachers who favored me just off the top. And I couldn't get financial aid, so they wanted me to be a student worker. So they gave me a job driving a tram. I'm driving a tram on the college, and the teachers just loved me. I didn't even have to be smart. They were just happy that I was there, happy that I showed up. One day I was hauling ass through the campus. The dean stopped me and said, what are you doing driving stuff like that? He said, look, I want you to make an exception just for you. Now the dean didn't tell me to make an exception for hot chicks and hot days. Some girl on the back. Anyway, but the point is, you know, because I like when the sheriff comes to Mr. High School. You know, I like to respect it. I love all y'all, and I love all respect that you guys give me. And we gotta go a long ways with this. I love all y'all. Everybody watching me.
I wanted to comment on that, but I think that was real powerful what you just said, bro. And American College, they got a real robust program where they helping people who've been locked up, like get their life together, get in college. And like you said, like there are a lot of grants and scholarships out there that you could apply. It's like you ain't selling dope, you selling your story. You feel me? And then you gotta use it in a way like, you know, you're gonna use this for the better cause. You feel me? So it's like money out there. Like, and then it's like this misconception, like people think college, UC Berkeley or UC in general is hella expensive. No, I'm pretty sure if you're low income, if you fall under that threshold, like financial aid is gonna pay for it. You feel me? It'll be taken care of. And then the other part where we talked about like how you just said you love everybody in here, you feel me? I feel like that in itself is big of you to say that, because a lot of times like we got this hatred towards one another. Like we don't see each other as family or as brother. We more quick to see each other as an enemy. And one of my friend in the video, Richard, he ain't here, but he loves speaking on what we call like internalized racism, meaning that you hate yourself. So as a part of that, like you project it onto the community and the people around you. And y'all see like if you like between age 16 to like 24, you got a 50% chance of living, a 50% chance of dying from gun violence. You feel me? And we see that all around, like to the point where we normalize by it. Like you see somebody get killed, it's just like, all right, whatever, like it is what it is kind of thing. But that's not normal. You feel me? I think we had a question over here.
Mr. Kimball.
How y'all doing? My name is Deshaun. I want to thank the staff. I want to thank the staff for letting this happen, and I appreciate you guys and girls coming out and bringing this for us. I just wanted to say, so I know a dude, right, and he got like maybe 21 units in college, and so we got like maybe 6 that's prerequisites for his major, which is business management or whatever, and most of the rest is like electives, and so he tested basically in English. He tested through a roof, you know, so he like university ready. Like I think he tested like 1A or something like that. But in math, he tested like math 40 or something like that. And for business management, I'm pretty sure you gotta like it take calculus and all that stuff or whatever. So like, what do you think steps it is that he need to take to, you know, get his math up there so he can get the prerequisites so he can get his degree in business management? And do you guys offer that help or whatever, tutors?
Right, yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Because at community college, like I struggled too with math. Cause I wasn't like my strongest area, but like again, it goes back to like not being shy, like being like, hey, you went up to the teacher, like, hey, I don't understand this shit. Like, can you, like, you're getting paid to teach me. Like, can you break it down? Can we meet during office hours? Like, you gotta be like kind of committed in that regard. And then just like a lot of these colleges, they have like resource after resource. It's just that, you know, a closed mouth don't get fed. And then, you know, we're not interacting with a lot of people up there to where we know that this resource is available. But for me, like, once I found out about the tutoring lab, like, I practically was living in there, you feel me? Like, I was making it like part of my daily schedule and routine to like go here, get this tutoring and understand it. And I feel like that really played a significant role in like how I like advance in math, you feel me? So I would say like a part of it is like just asking for help, you feel me? And being willing to like actually take the time out of your day and like actively seek help, go to these tutors, you feel me? Because they got these centers there, it's just like we ain't taking advantage of it, you feel me? If that makes sense.
So, excuse me, I just want to ask Mr. Kittles something. So, Mr. Kittles, did you say that you knew somebody?
Yeah.
Who is that somebody, sir?
It's a friend. It's a friend of mine. It's a friend of mine.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
You
Remind me.
You know we keep it 100 up in here. So it's him, Clarence, he's talking about.
Hey, well, like I said, like our office is in Berkeley, man, and we welcome everybody with open arms. All you gotta do is just show up. Come to UC Berkeley, to the campus, to our office. I got cards I can give out later on, and just be like, hey, like just come in there. 'Cause we got people who are actually, we got PhDs too. Like the guy I saw in the video, he formerly incarcerated. He doing tutoring, but he do English, but we got math tutors too.
My name is Amin Thomas. My question for you is, where was the breaking point for you to like not play in the middle, like I'm gonna go this way, versus like I'm gonna try to do both ways in the middle, in trying to be in the middle? When was the breaking point when you say I'm just gonna go narrow, straight and narrow?
You know what? That actually happened after I got into Cal Berkeley. A lot of people think it happened before, but it actually happened after. I worked too hard to get to where I am. Like I was coming up on my parole discharge day too, so I'm like, man, I can't keep hanging around the same crowd of people, you feel me? And then like once I saw how happy and proud like my mom and my family was for me, and I think that was like sort of the breaking point, you feel me? And then like one of my other partners, he had went to jail too, and I was like, all right, see, had I been there, that could have been me, you feel me? So I think that a lot of those factors played into where I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna try to be living like these two different lives. Like I'm just gonna do it this way. Because at the end of the day, like you can try to live these two different lives, but it's only gonna last for so long. You feel me? And the people you do hear about that make it successfully from doing that, like them unicorns, like ain't nobody really doing that. You feel me? But yeah, that's to answer your question.
You go first. How you doing? My name is Barry Gilton. I want to thank you for coming out today and sharing your story. My question to you is, I know it's a real touching question, but you dedicated your script to your sister. Did your sister get to see your transformation?
She did. And I actually was able to help her get her life together because she was kind of out there in the streets. She went to Santa Rita. She went a couple times, and then the last time she went, when she got out, a part of it was like seeing me go from jail into higher ed, and then me telling her, giving her the tools that I use, like the resources, the people I talked to in contacts, and then that took her out of what she was doing and on the school. You feel me? The way she got caught up was through a guy she was dating, you feel me? So.
How you doing? My name is Reginald Elmore. And my question is, when you got out of prison and you made your transformation into going to school, what did you do financially? Like how did you support yourself while you didn't have a job? And for a person like me, I have a child and I come home and maybe like my residence is not as stable as I want it to be as far as for myself and not like living with somebody else. What would I do while I'm going through that area where I'm getting my education?
That's a good question, bro. And it's a real question too. Now for me, when I came home, like I still was able to go like stay at mom's crib until I got on my feet, right? But we got people that come from those challenges and those struggles who are parents and trying to work and do the school thing at the same time. And it's difficult as fuck, but it's not impossible. For me, financially, what I did, I worked. I had to work. I worked part-time when I went to school. But once I got used to like applying to the scholarship, one scholarship, one of the biggest ones I got, I think it was like 8 G's. Like just from making that pen bleed, you know what I mean? And keeping it real with them in an interview, but at the same time, like professional, you know what I mean? And there are avenues like scholarships, grants, and financial aid. Those are in place, but sometimes they're not enough. But then at the end of, also they do have if you do have a kid, they also help. They help pay for it. Like they also help with those expenses too in community college. I know for sure we do it at UC Berkeley. We got the student parent center. You feel me? And that's all they do is help work with. They work with students that have kids and in order to ensure that they are like successful, and they get like the different grants, they get priority when it comes to housing, they get gas money, and just little stuff like that, you know, it goes a long way. But you know, it's like, I don't got no kids, you know, I am working on that, not now, but like, I'm working on that in a couple of years maybe, but it's tough, but it's support out there, bro.
Thank you for coming out. I was wondering, like, if you go to your school on that program, can you participate in that stuff that's going on in college campus? Like sports?
I mean, I think they do have some organizations you can participate in and some you can't, because in order to, like, the way that the sports system is set up at school is pretty much like you gotta dedicate your life to that. Like, they practice like day and night. Like, they don't even get a break, for real. But and then I think it's also, well, I'm speaking hypothetical on this, but like, I've talked to different athletes, and they say like in their contract, I believe it's a clause that says you can't be a part of any activist sort of group, but you could, like, you know, you ain't gotta be you can still be involved, but like, you can't officially like be like a member, if that makes sense. Yeah. But like basketball, like that's, you know, it's, for me, I feel like it's easier to get in through academics than it is sports, right? In sports, like, that's a whole lot more competitive. But like, you know, if you can, you know, at least pull like a 3.4, 3.5 GPA, I think you got a good chance of getting in, especially if you like hit it with your story too. Feel me? Like, I think that it's just an easier path.
Hi, my name is Shemaine. First, I want to thank you for coming out here. I also want to say that I admire your courage and the fearless approach that you take towards, you know, moving forward to success and making a change from incarceration to higher education. I also want to thank all the staff that be here. I've been here for a long time. They've been supportive, you know, these programs and stuff, and it's big because it's stuff that we need if you're looking for change. I mean, my question is, at the times that you experience, like, when you just feel like giving up, what remedies have you set for yourself to keep you pushing on when you feel like, man, I'm ready to give up?
When I lost my, I was just starting grad school when I lost my sister, and in March I lost my pops, so it wasn't even a year apart. And I did feel like giving up, but I don't know, like the support system, I would say like the support system that I've kind of developed at school, like, it's real, like you wouldn't even believe, like, whenever like something go down, like the people in my graduate program or the people, my friends I had in undergrad, like, they come, hey, is there anything I can do? Can I bring you food, or talk? Like, you want to go out? You want to get something to drink? You want to turn up? Like, all that kind of, like, all that stuff. It keeps my mind off of it. And I would say, like, just having like that strong support network of people who genuinely care about you. You feel me? Like, I feel like that played a role in terms of me not giving up. And then I guess the other aspect of it is, like, you know, I can't give up, like, I can't stop, because I know they wouldn't want me to do that. So that's what keep me trucking. And yeah, man. And then also, not only that, I gotta remember, like at the end of the day, like, I don't do this for me. I do it for people that was, like, you know, because I was once locked up too. I was in the streets too. So that's like the broader crowd audience that I keep in mind when I'm doing the work, whatever it is I'm doing. Like, I'm keeping that in mind. Like, I'm thinking about my OG partner I was in the pen with, who ain't never getting out. You feel me? And yeah, I guess, yeah, and ain't no easy way to answer that, bro. But
one last thing, like, how you want to speak, like how you just said, I'm doing this for the people, not for me, but for other people. Like, what helped you find that purpose?
Find that purpose. I don't know. I feel like it kind of, like, it found me. You feel me? Like, the way that it all happened, I didn't get out of jail or prison and be like, oh, I'm about to go to Cal Berkeley. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do this kind of carceral type work, this community organizing kind of work. It was more so like it kind of like, I wouldn't say it happened by fate. Like I was actively looking for a job, and I kind of was like trying to do anything I could. Like I even was trying to work at UPS. Like I was about to work there, but then they told me like, you got the felony, so you can't even work here. So then once they told me that, I was like, damn, if I can't get a job at UPS, where the hell am I work at? But then it was this lady. Like I went to this reentry center. It was called Rubicon. And there was this lady there. She was like I forget what's her title. She was like a reentry coach, like somebody you work with. Like once you get out, like there are reentry coaches out there. Like in case, like they're like the whole conversation on incarceration has shifted, and there's money coming in to actually do stuff about this. You know what I mean? Because we're realizing that we haven't been smart on crime. You know what I mean? And one of the ways is to do that is to help people get on their feet once they get out. So back to the lady, she was like, I think she was like more passionate than the rest of the people that worked at the center with her. Like she was kind of like calling me like on our off days, like, hey, you need this, you need that, you good, how's class going? And she told me about the job where you needed like a felony to work at, or you had to have been incarcerated to work at. And she was telling me like, you can actually like use your experience to do something good here. I think you'll be a good fit for this job. And then I would say like just that conversation, like just actively going out there and seeking like how can I get back on my feet? Like what's out there to help me? You feel me? And I feel like that's what it was. But like to say that this is my purpose, like that's something I kind of grew to learn over time. You know what I mean? Like when I sleep at night, like I don't even sleep that easy. You know, I still got trauma from the past. I still think about all kind of shit. But as I grow and as I learn, and as I come here and I do these kind of events, I'm reminded why I'm doing this work.
Again, thank you for coming out. So like after the degrees and stuff like that, what is like the end game plan for you? Like
graduation is less than a month away. I don't know, for me, I feel like I want to probably like participate in a fellowship or something like that. Because right now I work for the California Department of Justice. And what the Department of Justice does is like, they basically like just look out for like, the citizens of California and like California's natural resources and things like that. And they protect it like through enforcing civil rights and like litigation and that kind of thing. But like what I specifically do there now, like I'm a graduate student researcher, so I'm still a student and my position there ends in June 1st. And after that, I don't know, bro, like any job, like anywhere where I continue to be a catalyst and help change these different public policies that pretty much like incriminate, like incarcerate, or I just want to address racial inequity, bro.
Remarks. Well, I just want to say a couple of things about Clarence that we learned in Discovering Your True Self, and a lot of the questions you guys was asking him was really about his transformation, right? Well, his transformation was that he let go of that false image that we talk about. He put that false image down and he discovered his true self, his greater self, his essential self, right? He conceived the notion. He conceived it, right? He believed it, and he achieved it. And so with that doesn't mean it doesn't come without struggle. But as long as you put one foot in front of the other, you'll be able to transform your life. But at the same time, we have to let go of those false images. I'm a thug, I'm a goon, I'm a dope dealer, I'm a pimp. All of that, we got to let it go. And then you transform into your greater self. Where we say in Discovering Your True Self, we step into our greatness. Because all of you have the ability to be great.